Hello everybody, my name is Kata and I am going to do a quick tutorial on how to do bird dogs. So this is a really great core exercise, a total body strengthener, and it's a really good precursor for being able to get into lunges. So what you're going to do is you are going to be on your hands and knees. So you're going to try to keep your shoulders over your wrists and you're going to try to keep your hips directly over your knees. So a lot of times what tends to happen when people do bird dogs is they wind up sitting back and having their hips behind their knees, or they wind up being almost into a plank position. So you just want to have your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and you want to keep them about shoulder width apart and about hip width apart. So a nice neutral spine posture. So we want to make sure that we don't let our back arch and sag, and we also want to make sure that we don't push away and make it completely disappear. So we want to kind of try to find that happy medium where you have a little bit of a slope at the top and then a little bit of a dip in the back. So you're going to drop your shoulders down and back into your back pocket, so not letting them shrug up by the ears, but dropping down. And you can just start by having your toes tucked under, and the very basic way to do this is to just lift one hand off the ground, set it down, lift the other hand off the ground, set it down, lift one leg, and then the other. So notice as I'm lifting that I'm not shifting my weight and letting my leg drop, or my hip drop or my hip lift. I'm also not allowing my shoulders to sag, and I think about pushing the ground away. So the next progression after that is you can take one hand forward and have it lightly resting on the ground and take the other toe back. Holding good posture, then bring it in, and then you're going to switch. Take the hand out, take the toe back, lightly touching the ground, and then bring it back in. So notice as I do this, the rest of my body stays nice and steady, and I come back in, back to the original position, and then go back out and bring it in. When you're ready to progress, you take one hand out and the other leg straight back. What happens a lot of times is we wind up sagging and hunching over and lifting that leg really high, and just think nice and long, and then bring it in, and then switch. And again, just think about long fingers, long legs, and bring it in. So that's a way to start progressing bird dogs. Now, when you're able to kind of hold your arm out and your leg back for a few seconds, gradually start to make that period a little bit longer. So start with, 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, and then start working up to being able to hold it for a full 30 seconds before switching to the other side. After you're able to do that, you can start adding in some different movements. For example, once you can start to hold that bird dog nice and steady, you can start adding a little side to side movement, or you can add a reach and then a knee tap, and a reach and a knee tap. So there are a lot of different options for bird dogs. So start where you're at and work your way up. I know that if it's really uncomfortable to be on your knees, that you might not be wanting to do this one. So one option is you can put a cushion underneath your knees. I like going to the garden center at a store and get the kneeling pads that you can use for gardening. They're not perfect, but they help. But another thing that you can really think about is tucking those toes under and pressing into the toes just a little bit, like you want to lift your knees off of the floor, but they don't actually come up. And what that does is it's twofold. For starters, it will force you to engage your abdominal muscles. And secondly, it will help take a little bit of pressure off of those knees. So you want to make sure that you're not sinking into the ground. You almost want to kind of push the ground away using your hands and using your toes and the balls of your feet. So hopefully that gives you some different ideas and some different tricks for trying bird dogs. And it's a really great core exercise. So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes in the comments, and I will see you later.